here today. As we pour this sand, we're remembering, we're honoring the people behind the colors. Each color of sand acknowledges the personal connections each one of you here today have to this cause. Now we're going to start with white sand. And Amy DeVerse is going to come up to the stage. And Amy's going to pour white sand for the loss of a child. Casey was a beautiful, vibrant, and loving daughter, sister, and friend. She had a gift for making others feel valued and welcome, whether through her compassion, her steady support, or her unforgettable laugh. Her smile could light up a room, and her wild, joyful laughter was cherished by all who knew her. Casey loved with her whole heart, giving deeply to those around her and making each person feel special. Her presence filled every space with light, and her memory continues to inspire those who loved her. Though her absence is deeply felt, her family and friends honor Casey's life by supporting AFSP, working to raise awareness, foster understanding, and bring hope and healing to others who may be struggling. Up next, pouring the red sand, is Marin Frankie Person. Marin is pouring red sand representing the loss of a spouse or partner. She lost her husband Eddie to a suicide in 2020. He was 42 years old, an Albany fireman in the rescue squad, and the owner and operator of Empire Seal Coating, which he built from the ground up. He fought a silent battle of depression, and his suicide was a shock to all. Eddie was charismatic, the life of the party, had a laugh that could light up the room, and was always willing to go above and beyond for everyone. He was incredibly kind and had a soft spot for all animals, often helping those that he found in need. And Eddie loved his friends, hard work, and most of all, his family. He couldn't wait for the day when he would work side by side with his boys, Max and Zach. Unfortunately, that never happened. Eddie hid his silent battle and fought alone, so concerned with the stigma attached to depression. Marin has been very open with the suicide and how well it went hidden. She hopes that if we talk openly about mental health, we can work together to stop the stigma and, as a society without judgment, support those who need our help. Up next is Gold Sand. I'd like to welcome Dave Fruderman to the stage. Dave pours gold sand representing the loss of a parent. His mother, Carol Fruderman, was the most loving mother anyone could ever ask for. She loved to help people and always put others first. From nursing school to getting her master's in social work at the age of 40, she wanted to make the world a better place. She spent many years assisting and providing services to families of those with disabilities. In fact, she received awards for excellence in service, including the Aim High Award for her work with those with Down syndrome. Carol was an amazing friend and would have given you the shirt off of her back. She loved her friends deeply. She loved her family, her children, nieces, nephews, brother, and parents. She spoiled her 5 grandchildren, 2 of them who are here today. Unfortunately, earlier this year marked the 10th anniversary of Carol's lost battle with depression, just 2 days after her 68th birthday. David has been through some extremely hard times during this period. Losing someone you love to suicide is probably one of the worst experiences a human being can go through. Not a day goes by when she isn't on his mind. One takeaway that David hopes that everyone can take from his experience is that there will always be unanswered questions. To this day, he still has new questions pop up in his mind that he knows will never be answered. Being able to come to terms with that will go a long way for anyone suffering from a loss like this. David hopes that by sharing his experience here today, others that have experienced the loss of a loved one in this tragic fashion will have faith that things will get better. The loss is always there, and it always will be. However, through faith, education, determination, and lots of therapy, David can now think about his mother all the time, and it puts a smile on his face. For anyone suffering this type of loss, he hopes one day you will be able to do the same. Up next is Rainbow with Catherine Branks. Catherine pours rainbow sand to represent support of the LGBTQ plus community. Supporting the AFSP is extremely personal to Kat, since she is a survivor of several attempts long ago. Scotia Glenville Pride is dedicated to disseminating information and access to services focused on suicide prevention. Far too many rainbows have been dissipated too soon. Up next is Teal. Welcome back to the stage, Melanie Varity. Melanie pours teal sand to represent everyone who supports their loved ones who struggle daily. She's lived the journey that caregivers face looking for answers, helping find care, treatment, and the proper medication for her son, Joe. Like all caregivers, Melanie lives and fights alongside our loved ones daily to stay alive. There are tough days, but there is hope. Melanie wants all caregivers to know that they are not alone, that they need to practice self-care. And there is a community here at AFSP you can turn to for care and support. You matter too. Up next is Orange. I'd like to welcome to the stage Tracy Locke and Allie Fuller. Allie and Tracy will pour orange sand to represent the loss of a sibling. They're here today to remember and honor their brother, Mike Thornton. He lost his mental health battle on March 5th, 2025, when he took his own life. On that horrible day, they lost his bright blue eyes, incredibly contagious laugh, and their only brother to suicide because he saw no other way out of his darkness. Mike was a kind person who would do anything he could for you and not expect anything in return. He had a special gift of creativity and was a gifted artist. His sense of humor masked the struggles he kept hidden deep inside. On that day, 3 siblings became 2. These sisters are slowly learning to navigate life with a feeling of emptiness their brother's loss created. Allie and Tracy are here to represent the sibling survivors of suicide and to show support for the AFSP and spread awareness. They plan to make this event their way to honor Mike and to offer a caring hand to others who have experienced such a tragic loss. They will continue to raise funds and awareness to help those who feel that death is the only answer. One more suicide is one too many. Up next is Green with Missy Stolfi. Missy pours green sand to represent a personal struggle. As area director for the Capital Region New York chapter, she sees every day how difficult it can be for many of our AFSP supporters to simply get out of bed each day, and even more so to power through work and family obligations and caring for ourselves. Missy herself has struggled throughout her life with anxiety, depression, and ADHD, and over this past year, life and health changes to her health have at times intensified these conditions. Missy returned to talk therapy this year and is grateful for her amazing mental health provider, for the help and hope she receives, and the love and support of her family and friends who encourage her when she struggles to feel like herself. She stands here to recognize and to honor the daily strength and bravery for everyone who wears green beads. Up next is Silver with Matt and Janet Lynn Stefanacci. Pouring silver sand today in memory of Anthony Stefanacci and all first responders are Matt and Janet Lynn Stefanacci, who lost their son in May of 2024. First responders include EMTs, paramedics, firefighters, veterans, and other individuals who selflessly put themselves in harm's way to save others. Their dedication to saving others can come at a great cost to their own mental health. In honor of Anthony, his parents, friends, family, and co-workers have made a pledge to support other first responders in their mental health journey by offering support, education, and assistance. Up next with Blue Sand is Dylan Joseph. Grasshopper Heating and Cooling and Grasshopper Group are pouring blue sand, representing their overall support of the cause of suicide prevention. At Grasshopper Heating and Cooling, all employees are offered free counseling, regardless of position, to ensure that support is always available. Their commitment to their people starts with making sure everyone has the opportunity to utilize support care and counseling. Grasshopper Heating and Cooling and Grasshopper Group is so appreciative and thankful to be able to partner with AFSP and participate in the Walk for Rita. We can go far alone, but we can go further together. Forward is a way of life. Up next is Purple Sand. Coming to the stage is Jordan Rubens. Jordan pours purple sand for her uncle, Jonathan Albert, who they lost to suicide in 2003, 9 years before Jordan was born, when Jonathan was just 20 years old. Based on stories from the family, Uncle Jonathan was well-liked and had tons of friends. He was funny and clever, an amazing athlete, and generally much cooler than Jordan's mom, Jonathan's big sister. It's hard to imagine that someone so awesome would ever want to end his life. Jordan's mom says it was the stigma of mental illness that killed his uncle, her brother. She explained that Uncle Jonathan felt so ashamed about needing to take medication for depression that he suddenly stopped taking his meds in college. He just wanted to be, quote, normal. But his mom said that was the end of normal. Uncle Jonathan died by suicide almost exactly 2 years after he graduated from high school. In 2013, Jordan's grandpa created a team for AFSP's Walk for Rita that he called Jonathan Starfish, in honor of my uncle. Grandpa was committed to raising awareness about mental health and helping to prevent suicide, and continued to lead Jonathan Starfish until he passed away last October. In a 2013 letter that Grandpa sent to family and friends about his new team, he explained, "The team name is Jonathan Starfish, so named to both celebrate John's life and the love so many of us had for him, and also to tip a hat to the touching story of the starfish, which illustrates that each of us, with our efforts, can make a difference in saving a life." Today, Jordan is taking on her grandpa's role, as the leader of Team Jonathan Starfish, to keep her uncle's memory alive and to honor her grandpa's legacy as a gentle warrior in the fight against suicide. We all started today with this empty container. Each individual grain of sand poured inside represents how unique each of us and our loved ones are. Each individual's wishes, dreams, and hearts. This container is empty no longer. It holds all of our collective stories and now sits before us as a beautiful blend of vibrant colors. We can no longer separate what blends us together here today. Remember to keep checking on your people, keep sharing resources, keep showing up for others and for yourself, so important. Together we are bringing mental health out of the darkness, so let's walk with purpose. Let's walk with hope today. And now we will begin the walk, which will be led by our top fundraising team, Scott Ryan's team, who will be carrying our parade banner